Hey, what's going on, guys? Shane here with my yoga instructor and wife, Marie.
Hi guys! Today I'm going to show you 5 exercises for shoulder mobility. It'll help open up and strengthen your shoulders as well as your upper back, where a lot of this tension comes from. All you'll need is either a yoga strap or hand wraps, maybe even a jump rope. These are going to be great for anybody who's sitting, slouching, rounding into the back all day, as well as fighters who need to open up in that upper body.
Yeah, what I've found as a fighter myself, when you're throwing tons of punches, you get a lot of shoulder pain. If you're a mid-holder, if you're a coach, you're holding a lot of pads, and that's going to put a lot of stress on the shoulders as well. It just helps with having a wider range of motion. If you're a grappler, you're not going to get tapped out with shoulder locks, and it's just going to prevent injury. So let's take a look at the first exercise.
So we're just going to get started with some shoulder flossing, which you might have seen at the gym. I feel like this is really popular for weightlifters, CrossFit, things like that. Sometimes they'll use like a PVC pipe to lift forward and back, but what we're going to use is either a yoga strap or your hand wraps, because it's just a little bit more flexible in terms of how much space you have. So just unravel your strap or your wraps and hold them out about double shoulder width. Good. So maybe like 4 feet-ish, something like that. And then you can change it as you go along. So what we're going to do first is just lift the strap above your head so that it's overhead. And then before you move on with the whole flossing sequence, what you want to do is just check in with your alignment. So make sure that your wrists are strong, arms are about in line with your ears. And then as you lift your arms up overhead, you're even going to feel like your belly spills forward, or it's almost like your rib cage is opening in front of you, and you get this roundness in the back. What we want to do is we want to strengthen and stabilize the center body so that all of the movement's coming from the shoulders. So what that means is, if we look at Shane from the side, good, and his belly or rib cage is pointing forward, we just want him to draw the rib cage back so that it becomes more of a straight line from shoulder to hip. So that's going to mean that he's engaging his core a little bit, and then he's creating this puffiness between the shoulder blades. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
And that alone is going to provide some relief in the back, and we're strengthening all the areas that we want to be working on. So from here, without bending his elbows, Shane drops the strap behind his back. Good. Which might mean widening your grip, because we don't want the elbows to bend. So then again, on an inhale, he'll bring the strap above your head. Elbows in line with his ears, and then exhale, strap falls in front of you. So that whole movement, front to back to front, would be 1 set or 1 rep. So you could do that about 10 times, staying focused on a strong core and not bending the elbows for the sake of bringing all of the mobility into the shoulders. And that alone should get your shoulders fired up and help you feel warm. So after flossing your shoulders forward and back, we're just going to introduce some side to side movement. So again, hands are on the strap, wider than shoulder width. And this time you're going to inhale, just lift the arms up overhead. Again, elbows in line with ears. And shrug the shoulders down your back once you're here. Good. So you're just going to, even though the shoulders are lifted, you want to relax them as much as possible. So what you're going to do is you're going to bend one elbow at a time. So as one elbow bends, the other one's just going to pull down by the side, keeping those hands pulling in opposite directions so that you're really keeping all of your muscles engaged. The goal is that the bent elbow will hug the bicep in towards the ear. At the same time, relaxing that shoulder down as much as possible. Good. And then you'll just inhale, arms back up overhead. And then on an exhale, bending the opposite elbow, hug that bicep into the ear, straighten the opposite arm, pulling down on that strap. And so this is really going to open more so into the tricep and the lats, which aren't really necessarily the shoulders or the upper back. But by opening into these muscles, it helps the shoulders relax as well.
All these muscles are connected.
Yeah, so they all need to work together, which means if they're all tense, that's where you're going to feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so after flossing your shoulders forward and back and side to side, they should start to feel a little bit more mobile already. So we're just going to continue to try to move our body in a few different directions and target the whole upper back and shoulders as much as possible. So the next one is pretty much just a shoulder press. So you're actually going to bring your hands a little bit more narrow than they were, but not quite shoulder width apart. And then again, just inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Again, drawing the rib cage in, keeping the back strong. When you take a deep breath at the top, then you're just going to exhale and bend both elbows, bringing the strap behind your head. And the way to stay engaged here is to make sure that you're pulling out and the strap in opposite directions. And that might add a little bit of a shakiness too. And then you want to draw the elbows in so that they're not winging forward or out. Your elbows are directly underneath your hands and in line with your rib cage. Good. Again, you'll inhale, lift the strap up. And then this time, exhale, draw it down in front of the face. Good. So they're just like shoulder presses that you might do with weights. But what we're doing is we're adding a little bit of resistance by pulling on this strap and then just switching back to front. Again, you can do this about 10 times. So the first few exercises really focus on moving the shoulders, but keeping this core and back sturdy. But what we're gonna do now is add a little bit more movement to this upper back and chest area, just to open up a little bit more. So just grab your strap about shoulder width, but a little bit wider, and just extend it out in front of you so that your hands are in line with your shoulders. And before you get started, just find like a neutral position. So that means that you're shrugging the shoulders down. You don't want to shrug them up and be tense. As much as you can, let them release. And so from here, you're going to take an inhale and draw the shoulders away from the strap and pinching these shoulder blades together. Make sure you're pulling out on the strap in opposite directions. It's going to activate these front delts. Good. And then on an exhale, you're going to round forward, keeping the arms straight. And this time you're going to let the chest cave in, creating an even bigger rounding in this upper back area. Good. So again, on that inhale, drawing the shoulders back, chest forward, pulling out on the strap. Exhale, rounding the spine. Shoulders droop, still pulling out on this strap. So now that your shoulders are more warm, we're going to go into an exercise that's just a little bit deeper, and we'll stay here a little bit longer. So you're going to grab your wrap or rope in just one hand, palm facing up. Lift that hand by your ear, bend the elbow so that the hand and the rope fall behind you. Good. What you want to focus on is just hugging that tricep into your face, and then shrug that shoulder down any amount. And then bring the opposite hand out in front of you, palm facing down, bend the elbow, reach around, and just grab that rope wherever is accessible for you. That could mean that your hands touch, you might be a foot away. Just grab wherever you can, and that's good. So with this lower arm, you're going to focus on rotating the bicep in. Upper arm, focus on rotating that tricep in. Again, check in, make sure your belly's not pointing out. Just pull the ribcage in, keep that core strong. And then as much as you can, shrug the shoulders away from your ears. Stay here for about 3 to 8 breaths, whatever feels good for you. And then you're slowly going to come out of that. You might want to shake your shoulders out, and then you'll come right into the other side. For our last stretch, you do not need a rope or hand wraps. What we're going to do here is, again, a little bit more of a flow that goes into a longer hold. So you're just going to lift your arms, elbows bent out at your sides. Make sure that your elbow is in line with your shoulders, and then keep that 90-degree bend. Good. And after doing all of that work, this might already feel a little bit fatigued in your shoulders. Yeah. Good. So what you want to do is make sure that your shoulders aren't all the way up here. Try to shrug them down as much as possible. Now for people who have more muscle and mass in their shoulders, you can already see the difference between me and Shane. I don't really have huge shoulders, so there's a bigger gap between my shoulder and my ear.
You're saying I do?
Yeah, so Shane's got more muscle, where it might look like he's not shrugging down, but he is. So if you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, why won't my shoulders go down? As long as you're feeling that energy drawing the shoulders away, it's okay if your muscle is taking up a little bit more space. These are tough stretches for the upper body. Good. So once you're here, you're going to use your inhale to just open the chest. And then on an exhale, you're going to draw the elbows together to touch. You're going to feel a little bit of rounding in that back, like when we push the shoulder out, the shoulder straps out. And that's good. So just feel that in the upper back. Feel your elbows trying to pinch together. And for some people, they'll be able to touch. And for others, you might be a few inches away. So you just want to work this flow. Inhaling, lifting the chest, lifting the shoulders, making sure that the elbows stay lifted, shoulders stay shrugged down. See, it's easy to fall out of these habits. And then on your exhale, letting that spine round a little bit and just focusing here on drawing the elbows together. Elbows still lifted, shoulders still shrugging down. Good. So that alone is going to be really hard. I don't know if Shane can do this, but the goal is going to be, and maybe not within one stretching section, but session. But maybe after doing this for a few weeks, you're going to find that your elbows touch. They might even cross over so that you're able to grab opposite shoulder, which even Shane could do that. Not that he wouldn't be able to do that, but I'm saying because he's strong and he might not have as much flexibility in his arms as much as I do.
Right.
Good. So from here, again, you can always inhale, open up the chest, and then switch which arm comes down underneath and which one goes over top.
And even in this position, elbows high, shoulders down, correct?
Elbows high, shoulders down.
Okay.
Reaching forward with the elbows as much as you're shrugging down with the shoulders.
Got it.
Good. And then from there, to go even further, once you've gotten comfortable grabbing opposite shoulders, you can pull the backs of the hands to touch. And these are eagle arms in our yoga pose. And it's not always going to happen, but even trying to move in that direction, it's fine if Shane's hand doesn't touch his forearm or his other hand. He's just going to feel like he's drawing them together, and then he's going to feel that opening through the shoulders, the triceps, the delts. It's working that entire section and then opening this back body.
Yeah, feeling that everywhere. Shoulders are definitely fatigued at this point.
Yeah, so between sets, you're going to want to maybe shrug your shoulders out. If at any point you're feeling too much pain or discomfort, just step back. You don't have to go to the deepest point. What you're going to find is that each of these things will challenge a different point of your body. So just taking it one step at a time and breathing through all of it. If it's harder, all the more reason to breathe into those different tense areas.
Yoga is a lot harder than you probably think. Yeah, so definitely give it a try. Let me know what you think.
If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. So I recommend doing about 3 sets of 10 for each of these exercises, and that can be done either as a warm-up or as a cool-down. But I definitely recommend doing about 1 set on your own to see how much it fatigues the shoulders, and then from there work it into your training schedule in a way that feels best for your body.
Awesome. Guys, leave a comment down below. Let us know if you want to see more yoga, flexibility, and mobility exercises, and we'll have Marie here cover those. Until next time, be sure to subscribe to get the fight tips before your opponent does. I'm Shane.
I'm Marie.
Fight tips for the underdogs.